Okay, class, we're going to continue on and looking at Excel. So now that you've walked through those lessons that were the mechanics of how to make different things in Excel and how to enter formulas and how to make graphs, we're going to apply it to this class now by doing something with it that's going to be related into your next assignment, but also is related back to that personal reflection on yourself. So what we're going to cover in this video is just going to be a part of what you're going to turn in for your next assignment. We're going to go through, talk a little bit about personal reflection, and then I'm going to show you the first part of what you're going to do in your Excel assignment, and then we're going to have some subsequent videos that build up piece by piece to what the whole Excel assignment is that you're going to turn in. So let's talk about happiness and contentment and personal fulfillment. And I want you guys to think about this related to yourself and your career. And this is the Venn diagram of happiness, and I got this idea from my husband. I've seen him draw it in his class when he talks to early engineering students that money's not everything, your career's not everything. Happiness as far as your family being happy, you liking where you live isn't everything. The combination of them is important. So I made this up in a more formal drawing than I've seen him draw up as the Venn diagram of happiness. And I'm going to talk through it because this is going to prep what we're going to look at for the Excel assignment and what research you're going to do based on your own Venn diagram of happiness. So let's talk about our diagram. So there's three main categories that might add up to you being content, not just content, but really personally fulfilled in what you go into in a career. One of them is money. Hopefully, with the college education and the professional development you're doing, the job force you're going to enter, you'll earn enough money to live off of and not want for anything. If you don't have enough money to eat, you're in a bad spot. There's a lot of people that aren't there. So money is one factor. Having to not worry about your car breaking down and not being able to fix it. Enough money to be comfortable. So that's one aspect of our Venn diagram. The next one is work, and what I mean by work is, do you like what you do? If you really like what you're doing, it's not work. If you can go to work, go to your job all day and be there and be engaged and excited in what you're doing, that's a really high ranking on that work aspect because you love your work, you love your career, you love what you're doing. If you drudge in every day and hate going there, but it pays a whole lot of money, it's money, but you're really like eating away at your soul and going to this job. You don't want that. You want a job where you're excited to be there every day. So that's the second circle we're going to talk about. And then happiness, that's a hard one to quantify. Happiness is different things for different people. You might want to live close to the town you grew up in. You might be a very close-knit extended family. So happiness for you is staying close to your family. Happiness might be you are a beach person. I don't care which beach, but I gotta be near the ocean. I can't be landlocked. That could be happiness for you. Happiness in regarding to a job could be a city where you want to raise a family. Doesn't have to be the beach, doesn't have to be near your extended family, but is a community you'd feel safe living in and raising your children in because there's enough things for them to do and be engaged in, that it's a good community feeling. So happiness is another factor that needs to balance out everything else. Happiness is your spouse happy? So if your spouse or partner are happy, that leads back into you being happy too. So your close-knit family could be extended family. It could be you've had a lifelong dream to move to Europe. That's a happiness factor too. So let's talk about these three things. So money, work, and happiness. What are they alone? What are they combined together? So we'll just go through these 7 areas of the Venn diagram. Money. So say you got a job that pays a lot of money. Awesome. All right. Make a lot of money, but you hate what you do. So there's just money. If work is not there, that you're not excited about what you do, and you really aren't happy with where you are, and you're away from all your friends and family, money's not everything. Trust me. So that's what region 1 is here. Region 2, work. You have the best job ever. You're using all the stuff you studied. You're really personally fulfilled when you're at work. You're having a great time, but maybe it doesn't pay enough. Or maybe it's in a location you don't want to be and you're not happy with everything else outside of work. So a really engaging job is awesome, but if it doesn't pay enough money for you to live off of, and it's causing the rest of your life to be unhappy, that's not good either. Happiness. Well, happiness means a lot. Being close to friends and family, being near the ocean, whatever happiness is for you, is important. There's time outside of your job, being happy. But again, if it's happiness without money or work, you don't have enough money to live off of, or the work you have to do during the day really is not engaging and you're not content with. It's not personally fulfilling to you in your profession. All the fun time outside of work isn't going to matter if you can't pay for anything, and when you go to work, you're dreading going. So those were 1, 2, and 3. Let's talk about these other intersections here. The intersection of money and work, I don't know if you remember from intersections and Venn diagram, this little upside down U is the intersection. So region 4, the intersection of money and work. So right in here, this region 4, intersection of money and work. So you have a really nice paying job. You make enough money, maybe some extra money to do fun stuff with, and you're really engaged in your work. So great pay, very interesting job. However, if it's lacking happiness, if when you leave that job you don't like where you live, or if your spouse or partner are unhappy, or if your life outside of that job is not happy, this could be a problem as well. So money and work engaging, but unless you're going to sleep at your job every day and only be involved in your job, if you don't like the community you live in, if you don't feel engaged in other things around you, you're going to be lacking happiness in your life. So, region 5, the intersection of work and happiness. So this is an interesting region here. So you have really engaging work. You love what you do at work. You feel personally fulfilled. You feel like you're developing and growing as a professional. Great job. And it intersects with happiness. So it's in a city you love, you're near friends and family, or your spouse or partner are happy, you like the community you're in for your family. So you can have a really engaging job and be very happy outside of the job, but it might not pay enough to live in that community you're in. That could be difficult too. Some cities are very expensive to live in, and while they have these awesome companies that are there and awesome communities for families, you might not make enough money to actually live there and do anything, and you have to then maybe have some super long commute. All right, so let's look at region 6 here. Region 6 is the intersection of happiness and money. So you have a job that pays a lot of money. Awesome. And you're happy outside of work. You love the city you're in, or you're close to your family, or the community is great, or your partner or spouse are very happy. So you're making a lot of money doing the work you're doing. You're happy outside of work, but you find the work boring. That can be draining too. So you get paid a lot of money to do something that maybe you're just not really interested in doing, but you really like where you live. So there's those two good aspects, but maybe you're not finding that work engaging. That could be difficult too. So region 7 is the intersection of money and work and happiness. So this is like, if you can find this, keep it, take it. But these are things I want you to start to think about when you're looking at job searches in different regions, and we're going to talk through this in our Excel spreadsheet. Region 7, money, work, and happiness. If you can find this, you're a very lucky individual. So the job you have pays enough money. It doesn't have to be the most money of all the offers, but enough to live on, where you're going to go, and to do some fun things. It's engaging work. It is in a field you want to be in. It's exciting work to do. And the happiness factor's there. You like where you're living, or it's a community, there's enough other stuff to do. Your spouse or partner are really happy. In this intersection of all three entities, think about this when you're looking at job searches. If you can find this intersection of all three entities, you're going to be personally fulfilled, professionally fulfilled, live a happy life, and have enough money to live in that area and have a happy life. So these are factors that I want you to reflect on in the field you're going into, and some of the companies and jobs we're going to do research for as we're building this Excel spreadsheet, that you're going to start looking at cost of living and salaries and regions and areas, and personally reflect back into this Venn diagram as we're building this spreadsheet of data out on companies. So to begin what your next assignment is for building the Excel spreadsheet, I'm just going to show you one page in this video. So one of these spreadsheets, the first tab. And what you're going to do for the first part of this assignment, it's going to be one big assignment I'm going to build over multiple videos. So I'm just starting with this one to break it up into multiple entities, is you're going to build a budget. And I found a number of college students have never had to really build their own budget. You need to do this and start reflecting on this now. If you've been fortunate enough that your parents have helped you pay rent or pay for your phone or pay for a vehicle or pay for insurance, you really need to start thinking about what it's going to cost for you to do these things on your own. A number of people have had to cover these things on their own, and they know what it costs and know what it takes to live on a budget. Some of you, fortunately, your parents are in a position to have helped with this up to now, but you need to start planning when you're looking at jobs and cities and salaries, what that really is going to mean for cost of living for you as an adult and a young professional in an entry-level job. So the first part of your assignment is going to be to build this first spreadsheet, and I'm going to go through and do a demonstration of what it is using my job as if I was an entry-level mechanical engineer. So you look at entry-level, whatever your field is, and I'll show you where to find this information. And then from there, you're going to build some other tabs on this worksheet. So this is going to be one big Excel spreadsheet you turn in with multiple tabs on it, the first tab of which we're going to cover in this video. So this basis here, just as you see it, this spreadsheet is something I'm going to upload into Canvas for you to take, but then you need to start typing in all the numbers, find the research for the numbers, and type in the equations in the cells as I show you here. So what you're going to do is find the entry-level pay for the field you're in, for the major you're studying in Gainesville. And we're going to start with Gainesville for everybody, because then we're going to look at something else on the next video of how to do a salary comparison, starting, say, I made this much money in Gainesville, how much money do I need to live off of in another city? So we're going to, everyone start at this page with Gainesville for your specific field. So like for mine, it was entry-level mechanical engineer in Gainesville. It could be entry-level marketing, entry-level doing an accounting. So you need to change this for whatever your major is. And the way you're going to find your annual income is there's a search entity off of the CRC, the UF Career Resource Center webpage that I'm going to show you how to use. And I'm going to also put the link in Canvas for you. So the link is embedded here in this spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is follow this link. Let's see if it just brings it forward for me. Yep. And it goes to the salary negotiation page for the UF Career Resource Center. And this is a very helpful page to read through for other stuff. It's very nice that this is a tool that you all have as UF students. But what we're going to do is go down to Research Tools to calculate salary on this page. And you're going to go to this one here, this second link, the NACE Salary Calculator Center. So you click on that link, and it's going to bring up a page where you're going to then search your entry-level salary in Gainesville for your major. So you're going to be a job seeker, so we'll click on job seeker, and I'm going to fill this out as if I am an entry-level mechanical engineer. So select the state where you're seeking employment. For this assignment, for the first tab, I want you to do it as if you were in Gainesville. So we're going to pick Florida, we're going to pick Gainesville. Type in occupation. Do not cut and paste entries. So what this wants you to do is just start typing in an occupation. So I'm going to put mechanical engineer. And then I found the one that's closest to what I need. So you're going to find, it should put up a list of related jobs. Find the one closest to your field. So mechanical engineers, okay. Number of years of relevant work experience for this occupation. I want you to enter this as if you're just entry level. So less than 1 year. You're just going into the workforce. Select the highest level of education you have achieved. Well, let's see. I'm doing this as if I just had a bachelor's degree. So BS, as if I just had a bachelor's degree. Select the state where you last attended school. So you all are in Florida. select the college that you attended. Let's find University of Florida. Select your education major regardless of whether or not you graduated. So I'm picking engineering. For me, you pick whatever your major is. How relevant is your degree to the job description you've targeted? Well, I got my degree in mechanical engineering and I'm looking at a mechanical engineering job, so I'd say that is direct relevance on here. If you received a degree, what was your GPA? So put in what you think your graduating GPA would be. So mine was between a 3.5 and 3.9, and we submit the query. And it brings back salary data results. And it shows you entry level and then mid-career and later in your career. You need to take the number from entry level. So starting salaries, the 10th percentile for this occupation are $54,350. Look at this starting salaries number as what you enter in onto your spreadsheet for your occupation in Gainesville. So $54,350. So let me go back to my spreadsheet here. So $54,350. So that is Gainesville annual income. And what you might notice is we're going to start talking about money. What I put up there for you for a spreadsheet is not set as money, so this is something that should have been covered in those lynda.com videos. We're going to set this column to show money. All right, so we're going to turn this into money now. So $54,350. Taxes. If you've never dealt with taxes, what you get for a salary is not what you take home. Taxes are going to vary by where you live. This course is not extensive enough to do calculations based on I'm going to have a job this city, that city, that city, different tax rates. Some taxes have state income tax. Some states have state income tax. Some states don't have state income tax. Some states have higher property taxes. Some states have different sales taxes. We're going to give you just a safe number to use. A safe number to use is 20%. It might be less depending on where you live, but if you do this, you won't go over your budget. So for 20%, we're going to do a reference and do a formula in here. So I want to know what my taxes would be. I'm going to do 20% for a safe number. I'm going to do equals. That's how you do the formulas in Excel that were covered in the other videos. 0.2, so 20% times this other cell. So I'm going to reference an equation to that cell. So my taxes would be $10,870. Annual income after taxes, I'm going to take what my income was before taxes and subtract out my taxes. So annual income after taxes equals what my salary on paper is minus what the government's taken to be $43,480, so after taxes. Scroll back over here. All right. Monthly income after taxes. So annual income's over a year. Monthly is a 1/12 of that. So I'm going to take that money I take home after taxes, which is at cell B4, and divide it by 12. And that's how much I would take home after taxes every month. So that's a number to look at now when I'm planning out a budget of how much I can spend, what kind of place I can get, what I can spend on food and transportation. And I want you guys to go through and do this based on whatever your salary might be and to start to actually plan a budget. So, first thing I want you to do is immediately put away 10% of whatever you take home. It could be savings, it could be an IRA, a rainy day fund. You figure out when you start your job what it is. Put this in your budget. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself forward first before you spend money on anything else. So 10% of your after-tax savings retirement. So equals 0.1 times that monthly take-home. So every month, I want you to put away 10% of what you take home. So I'm going to put away $362 a month to have that 10% put away. Now, some of these other things you're going to have to enter and adjust, and these are up to you of what you think you would spend if you lived in Gainesville doing your job as a young professional. Be realistic. If you don't know what these numbers are because you've never had to pay them, research them, because you really need to start planning your own budgets and planning the cost of living. If you don't know what these numbers are, You've been very blessed that your parents have helped you or other entities have helped you. Plan now for what they would actually cost so you're looking at salaries and can compare. So I want you to do research what it would cost you to live in Gainesville as a young professional. So rent. Say you actually want to live on your own somewhere. Gainesville, you can pay $800 a month in rent. Have a nice place. Healthcare. As an adult, not on parents' healthcare, it's going to vary. Some companies have good insurance, some don't. A minimum amount you're probably going to spend is $100 a month on healthcare. It's going to vary. Car payment. So yeah, cars aren't free. It's going to cost something. I'm going to put in $200 a month, and you might have to adjust this as you go along to fit within your budget. Cell phone. If you haven't been paying for your own cell phones can be very expensive, especially if you text or get data or other stuff. $100 a month for a cell phone, they're not cheap. Utilities cost money. If you have cable, if you have internet, electricity, gas, water, garbage, utilities, I'm going to put in $300 a month. I spend more than that at my own home, but if you're in an apartment or something that's smaller, $300 a month for utilities. It's something you got to think about in your cost of living. Groceries, food costs money, $400 a month. I spend more than that, but I have 2 kids and a husband. $400 a month, go to the grocery store, buy food, make things. It costs money to eat. Transportation, this is also going to vary. You might have, pay for gas. Subway would be a different city, but for Gainesville, like if you have money, gas money, oil changes, car maintenance, bicycle stuff might be less, so you can think about taking the bus to a job. If you live close or far away from your job based on your rent, you might live farther away from where you want to be. So there's cost for transportation. Supplies, clothing. In our household, this is what we call the Target Fund, because we dress the kids from Target. And we buy like crazy amounts of paper towels and toilet paper and other such little kid supplies for making messes and cleaning messes up and having fun in life. But supplies cost money, so you got to put that in there. So $200 a month in our house might be more or less for you, but you need to factor this in if you buy clothing, if you have hobbies and you buy art supplies or other things, guitar strings, whatever you like to do, put it into your budget. Restaurants. This can be a killer in some budgets. So this is for a month. So do you spend more than $50 a week at a restaurant? This means like going out to lunch. If you're not going to bring your lunch to work every day, you could easily spend $10 a day at lunch. That's $300 a month just going out to lunch. So this could be a killer in a lot of people's budgets that they don't realize. So the groceries, restaurant, making your food, buying your food balance is one to consider. Other fun stuff, travel, etc. Put something in there for it. You might not do it too much starting out in your job, but it's good to have a fun travel fund. Save up to take a vacation somewhere. Other fun stuff can be a gym membership. It's no longer like UF student free membership. Those things do cost money. If you take lessons, guitar lessons, doing other stuff, those are fun things. Daycare, you might not have kids yet. You might have kids yet. If you don't, daycare's really, really expensive. I'm going to put $500 in here a month. That would be really cheap. For infants in Gainesville, if you bring them to a daycare you want to take your kid to, it's going to be about $800 a month for daycare. As they get older, the price goes down because the student to kid ratio. And so a factor that I just want to bring up now, so when you think later on in life for planning, childcare does cost a lot of money. Other items, who knows? We'll put a little bit of money in there. We'll put $50 in there. So go through and do your monthly expenses. You can change amount, or you can just put other items and rewrite this other items for something that isn't in there. You can rewrite over the daycare one, but try to plan out a realistic budget and really think through what you spend money on in any given month. So this is how much per month in each of those categories. Total monthly expenses. You need to add these up. So in Excel, the thing that you're going to use is the sum command. And this was in the lynda.com videos as well. We're going to do another formula. So any formulas that are calculations, again, start out with equals. sum, S-U-M, and then you do an open parentheses, and I'm going to highlight all the things I'm going to add. So I'm going to click and hold down this whole column, end the parentheses here, so the sum of B8 to B20, close my parentheses, hit enter, and those are my total monthly expenses, $3,400 and $3,412.33. So that's how much I need to do all these things each month. And then I want you to compare your income to your expenses. So you have so much money coming in, you have these things you're planning that you're going to spend money out, and you need to do a comparison to make sure you're not over your budget. So income minus expenses. So this is your monthly income up here. These are your monthly expenses. I want you to do a formula in here that's a subtraction formula again. So equals your income, so just clicking on that cell, minus the expenses, which was the sum of all those individual expenses, and then hit enter. So my income minus expenses, the way I have it budgeted here, is $211. So this is good. It's not negative. I'm bringing in more money than I plan on spending, and you don't want to always go right up to zero on that, because then there's no wiggle room for, things that might happen that you hadn't planned spending money on. So I want you to go through, find an entry-level income using that search process I showed you in Gainesville for your career field. Take out taxes, do those formula calculations, find your annual income after taxes, divide it by 12 within the cells using that equals number divided by 12 to find your monthly income after taxes. Take out 10% of that for savings, and then go through and do realistic calculations for what your cost of living would be as a young professional in Gainesville. This is just the beginning of the assignment. We're going to build other pages on this spreadsheet from here that are going to take this information and then help you do that Venn diagram of happiness comparison, thinking about cities you really want to live in, and to then prioritize different things by comparing data for industries and cities. So go through, calculate your total monthly expenses, and then check income minus expenses. So just to give you a reality check, if you have an infant, there's no way you're going to pay $500 for daycare. So this would be more like $800, and bam, I'm over budget. I'm $89 a month in debt. That's not good. And I'd have to readjust everything else that goes around if I had an infant in daycare earning this much money in Gainesville. But we'll put it back up to $500. Say I have a 4-year-old, that's about $500 a month to go through, and hopefully my income is greater than my expenses. So I want you to go through, do this budget, really think about how much things cost. Just in case you haven't really planned this out yet, this is going to be the first step into that Venn diagram of happiness. Is the money. You're going to make a certain amount of money, and happiness is going to go into, while I make a certain amount of money, do I have enough money in the city I want to be in to do things and live off of that amount of money to research the job that I really want to do for work. So that's a Venn diagram of happiness. This is the first part of your Excel assignment, and we're going to build on this in subsequent videos, but I wanted to talk through the first steps of this for you, for what you want to do for this first page of the worksheet, and we're going to build upon it in subsequent videos from here. All right, guys, take care.